Hey Clashes, a mythic hero skin, maybe some more balance changes for the equipment, and on top of that, what was that change for the gold pass at the beginning of the month? Well, Supercell has just released the new episode of Inside the Builder Hut, and they have talked about all of those things and even a little bit more. So I thought I would just get everything together and share my opinion about those as well. And let's start things off with the gold pass change. For everyone who does not know, at the beginning of the month, Supercell has removed the skin of the gold pass and replaced it with a decoration. The reason they have given us back then was that, well, a decoration can be used by everyone, and the skin only depending on your town level. In Town Hall 13, for example, you have to have that Town Hall if you want to use a Royal Champion skin. So that was the reasoning back then, which in my opinion made not that much sense, because you could just keep releasing skins but only add like King and Queen, for example, which is Town Hall level 9. I mean, how long does Town Hall 9 take? Like 1 month maybe or something? It's like really fast. So that to me was not really a good explanation. The explanation they give us in this specific video was that, well, they were trying to test around with cosmetics. And to be honest, I can understand that way more, because there were recently a lot of things where they're testing around with cosmetics, because in their opinion, the fairest way of monetizing a game is with cosmetics. And I have to agree 100%, because take a look at like other games, like big PC games, like, I don't know, Fortnite, League of Legends, and so on. They're monetizing the game mainly with cosmetics. Cosmetic items are not affecting the gameplay, and that is then obviously win-win, right? Like if someone wants to look different, wants to have a different looking base, that's fine, that's fine. It's not impacting anyone whatsoever. So I can fully understand that, but they could have just said that way earlier. And on top of that, to me, the worst thing, and this is like a red line over all of those different years for Supercell, at least in Clash of Clans, they're just not communicating with us. The Inside the Builder Hut is a nice addition, like it's a nice thing, but if they're always coming too late, what is that doing, to be honest? We would need a communication where they have told us such a change like 1 week ahead of time, for example. Where then people could have maybe at least thought about, okay, do I buy the gold pass, do I not buy the gold pass? I've seen so many people getting the gold pass and then being surprised that there was no skin in there. How is that even possible that you announce such a change during the gold pass release? Like, that is just so weird. I still don't understand it, to be honest. The reasoning with going into the change itself, with like trying different stuff, okay, I'm fine. I guess by now they have learned that the skin should be not removed, I guess, based on the feedback. But still, the way on how things were communicated was just really poorly done. And I really hope that over all of those years, at some point, Supercell is going to finally improve in the communication and announce things ahead of time, and don't try to fix things later. That would be highly appreciated. Another thing which they talked about, the decorations, which then makes this change even more weird, in my opinion, is that they're aware that there's not much place currently for decorations in a village. Which then, why would you add a decoration in the gold pass? But let's just forget this. They have already said that they're working on a better way to like showcase your decorations. Let's see what that means, because I have to say as well, I am not into decorations whatsoever, and I will show you that later in the video, that I'm a huge skin freak, okay? Like whatever game I'm playing, I try to get all of the skins, okay? But decorations, I don't know, it's just not mine. Maybe I'm weird there. Let me know if you like decorations a lot. I could totally understand that, but for me, I like hero skins, the sceneries, everything, but the decorations, not really my thing. But now, let's get to the next topic, which is that legendary scenery. And that was with the price, which was quite a lot. For a lot of people, that was a lot of money. And I think the biggest problem here as well is that the price is like a certain base price. And then it depends on taxes, where you live and everything. But that taxes part is, I don't know, it's not reflecting really like how much money $32.99 or something actually is in your location. So it feels like that this base price was a bit weird, but overall I have to say that at the end of the day, it's a decoration where you can, as I said earlier in the video here, you can buy it or not buy it. Like, it won't impact you whatsoever. And I've seen a lot of people complaining about the price, and I can totally understand that reason. And I am not allowed to share any numbers, but I can talk about the tendency. I would call it a gray area, okay? And from my creator revenue, I create a use case, let's put it that way, I can see that a lot of people were really loud on social media and saying that this price is completely weird, stupid, like no one would buy it. Trust me, a lot of people bought it, like way more than you might think. So I think overall, yeah, the more exclusive items, which how Supercell calls them, will be there in the future. And I think it's a really good thing in general that they're concentrating more on cosmetics, and hopefully we will see as well a change, because without that, the more expensive cosmetics are just what they are, more expensive cosmetics, right? But if the more expensive cosmetics would allow Supercell to actually make the monetization on the progression side of the game different and rework that, that would have a bonus impact. But without that change, otherwise, like having more expensive cosmetics, that's just it then. So I really hope that we're having the second step as well, if they have found a working monetization for the cosmetics. They have as well said that they are looking for more options of like making more exclusive items. They were mentioning mythic skins, which means like hero skins, which are like one tier above the legendaries. I personally would love it. I already said earlier in the video, I am freaking loving skins. It's like, I don't know, maybe something went wrong for me, but like in every game I'm playing, like, I don't know, Dead by Daylight or whatever game I'm like currently playing, I always try to own as many skins as possible. It's, yeah, not really the best side of me, but hey, that's how I work there. And yeah, I would love to see mythic hero skins as well in the game. As well, they have said that baiting skins, for example, are a bit problematic because obviously they look cool in the first place, but you have to find the beatings and everything, which makes things really complicated, especially for players who are not maybe playing every single day, like 10 hours plus. So like finding the town hall then or other buildings would be really weird. So I hope that that won't come. And they said as well, it might be confusing. So I assume that that won't be an option. Something which I personally again hope is that they don't add troop skins, because I feel like they're just too small. That's not really working. If they're really trying to push this as far as possible with the cosmetic items, I think maybe pet skins would be an option. But otherwise, just go for the mythic hero skins. I would love it personally. But again, at the end of the day, it's cosmetic items. You can play the game without them as well. No problem whatsoever. It's just, yeah, that we have to see some changes for the monetization in the progression side. And maybe like, as I said earlier, having things like heroes, you can just use them non-stop while upgrading, for example. But let's just talk about the next point, which they have mentioned, which is the treasure hunt event and events in general for the later stages of this year. Treasure hunt event is overall here to like bring some random elements to the game, where typically Clash of Clans is something really simple, like you're having a certain cost for a building upgrade, you're spending it, you're done. Lab upgrade, same thing, and so on. The only random part of the game is like during the attacks where some troop behavior might be a little bit random. Otherwise, this is as static as it could get, and they wanted to add some randomization, which I think is not the worst, because the next thing which they really highlighted is that there are no plans to monetize those loot boxes, which I think is just, to me, pretty much the biggest thing of this entire Inside the Bitterhut. All of those side informations are great, but the information that they're not planning whatsoever to monetize those boxes is, to me, the biggest thing. They're looking as well for the engagement for this event, see how things work, but you already noticed a lot of like long queue times when the event started, so I assume that people like it a lot. People are way more online, for example. That's why it's harder to find opponents. That's why it takes longer. That's why your clouds are longer. So I assume based on that, the event is a success, I guess, if that's something we can assume based on that. As well, they have said that the event, like the chests of this event, are going to be maybe added in some other places if people are liking them. For example, like Silver Track, which means the free-to-play track of the Gold Pass, or for example, challenges, which in the end, it's something like those chests are something where people can finally get rewarded based on their town level, which is something really cool, which we had not had so far in the game. As well, I can see, and as well, I felt the same thing. For max players, those chests are not that great. Overall, there's not much you can get out of them, except if you're like lucky and get a magic items, you can get some gems out of it. But that's pretty much it. Which is, to be honest, based from Supercell, kind of like fine. Is mostly for speeding up the progression. I can see that for sure. My free-to-play account is quite nice, having like some more bonus resources, having like a book of something, having maybe like some ores if I'm really lucky, and so on. That's always quite nice. But yeah, so I can totally see the point that people are like not as happy if you're maxed. But for free to play, I have to say it's really, really nice. It's really, really enjoyable. As well, they have said that for events in general, there are still great things planned for the next few months, which you can look forward to. And I won't pretend that I don't know anything. That's why I'm just saying, make sure to follow the channel, and I will always keep you up to date and make sure that you're as hyped as I am. But the next thing as well with the magic snacks that I've talked about, there's some different opinions on there, and I think the 24-hour timer is not maybe the best. I would like to have maybe a 48-hour timer for Clan Wars, so it's the same length, but that's to me the only negative. Otherwise, I quite like the magic snacks. To me, it's as well fine that you have to use them somewhat quick, but again, 48 hours would be more appreciated, and as well that you should not hoard them, right? That's the big takeaway point here. And again, for mixed players, they're not as efficient because you can't sell them or like get anything out of them. But for free-to-play players, yet again, it's quite nice to have them. Let's get to the last topic though, which are equipments. Equipments, well, were changed, and Supercell's answers were kind of showcasing how weird some takes of the community were, because a lot of the people in the community were complaining about those changes. And at the same time, it feels like this is really showcasing how much the community likes to complain without any reason for it, pretty much. Because, for example, the community said that instead of equipments being nerfed, defenses could be buffed, right? It's the same results. At the same time, community complains about pay to win. Now the question is, what type of player is going to have a benefit if defenses are going to be buffed? Right, those people who are maxed out. Those people who are not having max equipments are going to suffer. So yeah, it's like a weird take, right? Like the community is saying something and then they're promoting something which is saying the complete opposite, right? And I feel like sometimes the complaints are just so I just think of the word which I mean right now because I don't want to say it, but like whatever. Let's talk about the next point. So the next suggestion was that maybe you could buff the weaker equipments to the same level of the strength of the really strong equipments. But the answer on the problem here is that the game is already quite simple, which overall is not a bad thing based on Supercell, but they did not want to make the game too easy. That's why they tried to find a middle ground. So having the strongest equipments right here, the weakest equipments right there, they were like trying to bring everything on the same line with, for example, buffing Earthquake Boot, buffing Rocket Spear and so on, but for example, nerfing some of like the Gauntlet, the Spiky Ball and so on. So make sure that everything is like more closer together while without like going the drastic change of bringing everything down here or like bringing everything up there, or something in the middle where everything was then matched. And at the end of the day, they do not want to like kill any equipments with those nerfs or make new broken equipments with those buffs. That's not the thing there, so the balance changes were typically not as big, and there are no more balance changes planned for the near future. But at the end of the day, remember, Clash of Clans is like a moving game. Anything can happen, a new strategy is coming up or whatever, which is really, really broken, and then you have to adapt there. But currently, no balance changes for equipments are planned for the near future. And that's pretty much it, what they have talked about inside the Bitter Hut. Looking forward to see what your takes are on all of those things. Like the Goal Pass, I think we're all agreeing there that there was a really, really poor way of like bringing that change to the game, especially the communication. Legendary scenery, I think there will be always like people would like to have everything like given to them without any costs, right? Like that's the optimal thing. But then at the same time, that's not how reality works. I mean, you're not going to the supermarket and taking everything and like don't have to pay anything for that. That's not how the world works, right? Like you can criticize that thing, but that's again then another topic. But yeah, so as well, if people like the idea of mythic hero skins, I personally like it a lot, but I already said like I'm a skin freak, so I'm not sure how much my opinion really counts there, to be honest. And otherwise, with events, as I said earlier, make sure to follow the channel and you will be always up to date everything around any news in Clash of Clans. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys back tomorrow with the next Clash video. Until then, see ya and bye-bye.